Oh, okay. Hey, look! Jason's racing this man in the race against Fred Clark State. What do you say? Tell me what happened. Jason, come on, make up your mind. Hey, debate. All right, here we go. Yeah! That one again. That's 20 cents more beer for me. Come on, let's go. Debbie's gonna kill me. Find out.
Princeton was also home to what was to become a very popular invention. Got the wrong spot here. We'll try one more. Those were some great days, weren't they? You know, Princeton was the home of what was to become a very popular invention. In 1922, a dentist named Gilbert King constructed about a half dozen snow cars that would be the forerunner to your snowmobile. Dr. King took the chassis and the engine of a Model T Ford. He mounted two skis on the front, and he had two wheels with a chain on the back. It was used primarily by postmen, but it also served as an emergency vehicle for the sheriff and for us doctors. But of course, somebody else became famous and rich on Dr. King's idea, but we can all be proud of the fact that it started right here. You know, at this time, everybody was really enjoying life, and I'm sure it seemed like it would never end. But the cycles of life do continue, and the good times did come to an end. But as I recall, the Great Depression was not only bad. It seems to me as I look back that a lot of good was produced in those days. The kind of good that rises to the top when pressure brings out the very best in human nature. it out when somebody's having a hard time.
That's everybody we know.
Hey, guess what? I finally got hired out. Hey, I was down at the cattle fair, like the rest of the guys. This farmer, my father came by and offered me a job, just like that. Wow. He said I could have free room to go on, and I could work right there straight through the harvest, and I didn't know what's on that.
Well, that's great, son. I'm proud of you.
Oh, Chip, he's such a baby.
He's 15 years old.
I know, but he could get homesick or hurt or something.
Look how happy he is. I understand how you feel. But, you know, if we had to take care of him and Sarah all summer, well, we just wouldn't have enough to take care of the rest of the family. And besides, he'll only be gone till November. A lot of farm boys hire out for his growing season. Besides, let's see. Tell you what, we'll make plans to visit him, okay?
All right, I know you're right, but I just don't like it. Now, we'll call the kids for supper. It's almost ready.
Bringing out the very best in human nature. It was a time when families worked together, when folks watched out for their neighbors, when everyone was quick to lend a hand. It was a time when people stopped you on the street, and when they asked, "How are you?" you could truly tell they genuinely meant it. People did what they needed to do to get by, but in that doing was a feeling of togetherness, of family. I guess that's why I fell in love with this community, why I decided to live here. Now, I know some of you would say that that sentiment has gone by the wayside, a victim of changing times, but I don't buy it. I still believe that it lives in the hearts and souls of the people. Oh, you can change some things, yes, but there are other things like compassion, love, hope, faith in God, faith in your fellow man, that always stay the same. They just simply have to be dusted off and brought out into the light. Well, folks, that brings us up to the 1940s and 50s. But a lot of you out there know that history of Princeton because you have already lived it. So before you forget any of it, tell it to your grandchildren or your nieces or nephews. Write it down so that future generations will know who we were. Now, there is one more thing I want you to see. One final scene, if you will. Beautiful, isn't it? So bright, so full of possibilities. Oh yes, I can hear you say, but Doc, there's nothing there. And you're right, of course. But it is so bright. It is so open. It is so full of possibilities. You see, this is the next chapter of Princeton, and it hasn't been written yet. You folks, please, please make sure you write a good one. Wonderful.
tell me about the city of Princeton. History, that is. Seeing as how I'm the oldest resident, they asked me to begin. Name's Silas Morris, by the way. I was born here. What I didn't live through, my pa told me about. So you can be sure that everything I say is based on fact, more or less. I guess we need to begin at the beginning. That would be with a man named Royal C. Treat. He must have been quite a visionary, old Royal, because he saw something here that others overlooked. Must have been a pretty good talker, too, since he convinced his brother Henry to leave the thriving nursing business in Kansas and come join him in this yet-to-be-founded city. Royal first got here and laid claim to the area in 1848. A year later, he got an official title from the government. It was really something to see. Those buildings rolling through the down right through the trees. Downright spooky the first couple of times. The 50s and 60s saw a lot of commerce develop. Lots of people moving in.
Oh, it's hot today. Let's take a break. This is hard work. I figured riverboating in these small towns would be watching the water go by or unloading a couple of crates or something.
No, you got that wrong. This river is one of the busiest in the state. There are days when we might ship out 1,000 bushels a week.
Really?
Or maybe ship in 100,000 board feet of London.
Wow.
They claim it's the cheapest way to get stuff in from Oshkosh, even if it does cost $1 for 1,000 feet.
$1? Do people still make money paying rates like that?
They must. They keep doing it. And then there's the visitors coming in by the boatload just to sightsee. Excursions, they call them. Stay around a few days and head back to the big city. I hear that the government is going to put in a series of locks all up and down the flats. If that happens, you'll really see river traffic. Well, here comes one of them tourists now. Good day, ma'am.
Well, hi.
Can I be of service?
Well, I was wondering if there's a hotel in town.
Yes, ma'am. There is a fine one. May I suggest the American House? It's one of the finest and most popular in the county. They have steam heat, big rooms, baths, good food. It's $1 a day, but a fine lady like yourself deserves the best.
Well, that sounds very nice. Look, one of you please carry my bag.
My pleasure, I'm sure.
Please hurry. I'm waiting for my husband.
Get back to work.
You got the Barolo loaded yet? No, sir. Well, let's hop to it. We got the Montello and the Busy Dollar going to be coming in soon. No need to tie up here. Well, this is hard work. Just taking a breather, sir. Hard. You should have been with me when we dug the ditch for Floyd's Mill. Now, that was hard work. Yes, sir. Me and my crew, we dug that ditch all the way from the McCann River. 7 miles long, 8 feet wide and shoulder deep. Fox River just didn't move fast enough to run a mill. Old man Floyd, he built a 3-story mill, and he can grind out 50 barrels, 50 barrels a day. And none of that would have been possible if I hadn't brought in that fast-moving water in the can. Now let's get to it. Why is there so many people and animals roaming the streets? Must be your first time through. Hey, it's cattle fair. Cattle what? Cattle fair. First Wednesday of every month. Farmers with produce and livestock to sell, they bring it to town. Buyers, they come to check it all out. A lot of money changes hands in those days. Kind of a social event. Women, they come, they buy some dry goods and some cloth. Men, they wander around, look for some bargains. Sooner or later, they usually end up in one of the saloons. Of course, the women, they can't come in, so they got to wait out in the wagon until the men negotiate is done. They might send in one of the boys to fetch cotton. You know, this cattle fair's been going on, gosh, I'll bet you it's been about 30 years now. But you know, this modern transportation now, that'll probably put an end to it.
Yes, lots of excitement during the 50s and 60s. I bet you folks never knew that Princeton was the county seat for a while, did you? Happened in 1866, when folks got to figuring they'd send Princeton. largest community in the county, it should naturally be the seat of the government. So one day a bunch of men went to Dartford, jeep, wagon, to pick up the official records. They never asked anybody if they could, they just get it. File cabinets and all. Well, after a while, a federal judge got involved, moved everything back to Dartford, where it is today. But we were, for a while, the county seat. Then in 1872, the railroad came to town, and after that, the telegraph. We were finally connected to the whole world, and our future was secure. But things weren't always rosy.
My dearest Clara, my heart is so heavy as I write this letter that I don't know if I can stand it. The past months have been such a burden on our little community. It seems as though a black cloud of judgment surrounds us. Every face I see on the street is creased with lines of worry and pain. An outbreak of diphtheria overtook us a few months ago. No one is above this fiendish foe, rich or poor, man or woman. It shows no preference nor any mercy. The church bells always seem to be tolling another death. It is hardest for me when the church bell tolls only a few times, declaring the loss of a child. I've been told the count is approaching 200. I pray the Lord will not allow us to go higher. And now, just this past Sunday, another tragedy has beset us. It started about 4 o'clock in the afternoon in a barn next to the Hubbard House Hotel, just south of the American House.
Hello, Jonathan. I want you to go find your father. I'm going to the little Moss's house. Now you go find your father. Well, don't interrupt me while I'm talking. You know it's rude. Smalls. Fire! Fire! Go stop him! Water! Water! Go back to command!
You go down the street, find anybody that can't fight the fire. Tell them to watch the ones who move. You can't let this thing spread. You, head over to the Dixon store. Somebody else, come listen to the wagon shop.
Everyone in town thought the fire well into the night, but it seemed hopeless to try to save anything. All that could be done was to try to contain the blaze. The heat was so intense that it discolored the bricks of the American House across the street. It was only with the greatest of efforts that the building was spared. Many head of livestock died, and many people were injured. But thank the Lord, no lives were lost. The morning light revealed that a dozen buildings had been totally destroyed, and many others sustained some damage.
it easy. But your German and Polish and Irish ancestors, they rebuilt, starting new businesses and raised families. They believed in themselves and their neighbors, and they made it through. When the turn of the century came, prosperity and good times hit the...
So, things were really hard when you were my son.
They sure were. Nothing like today, though. Today things are going fine. Food on the table, plenty of jobs. We even have electricity coming into the house. Even if the city did have to go out and spend $12,000 to buy the plant.
$12,000! Wow! Where did they get all that money?
Taxes, son. You'll learn soon enough. There's plenty of shrewd businessmen in town. They make things buying and selling, they make things happen. You take E.J. Yar and J.F. Warnke. Why, since they kind of teamed up in business, all kinds of things have been happening. They have dozens of rail cars of Poland's going in and out every day. They got people coming here to trade from as far away as Nashville and Westfield.
Wow!
Now, E.J. Yard, he makes loans to people too. But he plays it smart though. He gets the interest up front and then makes the loan to himself. Now, Mom wants some stuff in the store. I want you to take and buy a dozen eggs. That's 9 cents. And I also want you to get plum butter. That's $1. Are you ready this up? All right. We also need a small bag of flour. That's another 25 cents. And let's see. Get about 25 cents worth of meat. That ought to be about enough for the 5 of us. Here's 6 bits. Now I want you to make sure you get the right change. And you better get to it now, because I got some business to transact.
Ah, where are you going? Are you going to the tavern again?
And what if I am?
Just wondering, just in case something to find you.
Maybe Ma ought to come herself.
Ah, you know that women aren't allowed in the tavern.
Well, boy, there are 27 taverns in this town at last count. How do I know which one I'm going to be doing business at?
27 taverns, that must be a record.
And a record it was too. Still is listed too in the Guinness Book of World Record. Most taverns per capita. Now, that's not the most famous claim to fame in the opinions of many people, but it is still a part of our history. Oh, excuse me, I'm G.G. Miller. I'll be your guide through the rest of your tour through history. Around here, most folks call me Doc. Oh, Doc Miller. I've been practicing medicine here for most of my life, and I have really grown to love this community and its people. None finer anywhere, in my opinion. But getting back to our friends here, there were plenty of other activities around the turn of the century that kept folks occupied. Why, we had our very own opera house with a band of more than 20 strong. And there was the Schutzen Hall, where they held dances and other social events. And of course, there were many other activities.
Or something, just in case.
Yeah! That's 2 scooters of beer you owe me!
That wasn't a fair race. The track shoe's short. Eddie's horse was gaining ground. Would have won if it'd been long enough.
You know as well as I do. The length of was Al Warby's corner, the finish line was Luke Merrill's corner. No payoff. Tell you what, give me a chance. Ow! Hey, go on now. I'm not doing nothing. Here.
Tell you what, give me a chance to get even. Double or nothing on the ball game Sunday. I'll take the Princeton Blues.
Sure, well, Princeton's been winning everything in sight. Montel hasn't won against them in 4 years. I'll tell you what, I'll pick Montel to win the fight after the game.
No thanks. Princeton's got a great team, but lousy fighters.
Hey, look, Jason's racing his mare against Fred Clark's Bay. Tell you what, double or nothing, you pick your horse.
The Bay.
Make up your mind.
The Bay.
All right. Come on. Yeah, 4-0. That's 4 screws of beer, 20 cents. Let's go on Kirsty.
Debbie's gonna kill me when she finds out.
Those were some great days, weren't they? You know, Princeton was home to what was to become a very popular invention. Back in 1922, a doctor by the name of Gilbert King constructed half a dozen snow cars. That would be the forerunner to what you know as a snowmobile. Dr. King used the frame and the engine of a Model T Ford. He mounted skis on the front and had double wheels with a chain on the back. It was used primarily by postmen, but it also served as an emergency vehicle for the sheriff and for us doctors. But, of course, somebody else became famous and rich on Dr. King's idea. But we can all be proud of the fact that it all started right here in Princeton. Everybody back then was really enjoying life. And I'm sure it seemed like it would never end. But the cycles of life do continue. And the good times did come to an end. But I'm not so sure that the Great Depression was only bad. It seems to me as I look back that an awful lot of good was created in those days. The kind of good that rises when pressure brings out the very best in our human nature.
Mama, when will Daddy be home? Soon, honey. Why? Well, Mrs. Hubbard asked me if I could babysit for her this summer. I'm old enough, and it would be fun, and I'd also bring in some money to help out the family. I don't know. It's a long, long day, 8 hours, and you can't quit if it gets too hard. But I make 25 cents a day.
say neighbors are pretty helpful when somebody's down on their luck.
Well, that's everybody we know.
And hey, guess what? I finally got hired out. I was down in town where the cattle feed. Spotter walks right up to me, offers me a job, just like that. Said I could work right straight through the season, room and board, $2 an hour. It's just, I don't know what's out there.
That's great, son. I'm happy for you.
Oh, dear, he's such a baby.
He's 15 years old. He'll be fine. Look how happy he is about it.
I know, but if he gets homesick or gets hurt or something.
I understand how you feel, but we both know if we have to take care of Sarah all summer, well, we just won't be able to take care of the rest of the family. Besides, he'll only be gone till early November. A lot of boys farm out for the growing season. Tell you what, we'll make plans to go visit him, okay?
All right. I know you're right, but I just don't like it. Go call the kids for supper. It's almost ready.
That's what I mean about hard times bringing out the very best in people. It was a time when families worked together, when folks watched out for their neighbors, were quick to lend a hand. Everybody dressed up on Sunday. And when they stopped you on the street and asked, "How are you?" you could tell they genuinely meant it. People did what they needed to do to get by, but it was in that doing that was a feeling of togetherness, of family. I guess that's why I really fell in love with this place, why I decided to spend my life here. Oh, I know a lot of you would say that sentiment has fallen by the wayside, a victim of changing times, but I don't buy it. I believe it still lives in the hearts and souls of the people here. Oh, you can change some things, but other things like compassion, love, hope, faith in God, and faith in your fellow man that always remain the same. Sometimes they simply have to be dusted off and brought out into the light. Well, that brings us to the 1940s and 1950s. Now, a lot of you out there know that history of Princeton because you have lived through it. But before you forget any of it, tell your grandchildren, tell your nieces, your nephews, or write it down before you forget, and then they will know who we were. Well, there's one more thing I would like to show you. One final scene, if you will. Beautiful, isn't it? So bright, so full of possibilities. Well, I hear you say, "But Doc, there's nothing there." And you're right, of course. But it's so bright, so open, so full of possibilities. You see, folks, this is the next chapter of Princeton. been written yet. You folks, please make sure you write a good one.